Yes. Okay. This is the topic that we have today. Before I start on this topic, I want to give you a few questions. You don't have to answer those questions to me. You can answer it yourself, and later, during the process of our talk, you will definitely get the answer to those questions. The questions are, can we do anything without thinking? Think for yourself, identify your actions and activities, and see whether you can do anything without thinking. Another question, how do we get distracted? We want to focus so many things in our life, but very often people tell me that they are distracted or overthinking and so on and so forth. How do we get distracted? Next question is, can our mind act in the past or in the future or in the present? Where does our mind act? Another question, can we edit our past experiences? All of us will have so many past experiences, very often negative. Can we edit them and change them? That is another question. Now, keep in mind these questions, and you may find the answers to the questions. If you do not find any answer, you can ask me also at the end. Now we have the thinking skill. We have so many skills. All of us have skills. But the most important skill that we need to have is the thinking skill. And we think of so many things, but do we have any control in our thoughts? We need to focus on that. And we also need focused thinking, not simply thinking anything. How to focus in our thought process. And we know we have 5 senses. And through these 5 senses, we gather information. Our brain gathers information. And that's the only way we can know the no other way we can know it. And we can focus our thoughts through these 5 senses. And now I can also tell you, we get distracted also because of these 5 senses. Now, focused thinking is important for action, result. In our childhood, when you were young, when you were in schools and colleges, we were studying so many things. How do we study? How do we learn? Again, through these senses, mainly 3 senses, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. They say smell and taste are chemical senses. They are not very important for information processing by the brain. And with these 3 things, we focus. And with these three channels of learning, we learn. If one is over, one is not focused. For example, you are looking at the book and reading it, but on the other side, your TV is on in the other room, and you listen to that, you cannot focus on your learning. So, focused learning, we have to focus mainly three senses. This is what we do also in meditation. We have a focused visualization to control our visual sense. We have mantras repeated to control our hearing senses. And we have mudras to control our touch. And sometimes we have agarbattis and so on burning to control our smell. This is how you get focused. So anything that you want the result, you need to focus. And then you get the result. Now, we do a lot of physical exercises. Many of us may go to gym to have a fit and healthy body. Don't we also need a fit and healthy mind to maintain that healthy body? It's important. So what I'll be doing perhaps towards the end will be the exercises that can make your mind healthy and fit and focused so that you can get what you want. And when we say the secret is how to think, focused thinking for our happiness, for our success, for our health and wealth, and for our happy relationship. Everything, this thinking process is important. That's why the topic is given the name. The secret is how to think. Now, mind and body are connected. They're not separate entities. Our body language can change our thought pattern. Imagine when you are thinking of something that makes you angry, what happens to your body language? It changes. Imagine you are thinking of something that makes you scared. Your body language changes. Imagine you are thinking of something that makes you sad. What happens? Your body language changes. Imagine you are thinking of something that makes you happy and confident. Again, your body language changes. So, mind or your thoughts can change your body language. The other way is also true. Your body language can change your mind and your thought process. I will give you one small exercise. I describe it. Those who want, you can practice it and see. Just imagine you are sitting straight up. Your chest up, your shoulder up, your chin up, your eyes straight, and have a gentle smile on your face. This is the body language I want you to have now. Now, with this body language, with that gentle smile on your face, think about something sad and see how easy for you to think of it. Very often, it is difficult for you to access that sad thoughts when you are in that confident, that mode, that body language, when you are sitting straight or standing up straight, chest up, shoulder up, chin up, looking straight and with a smile. Difficult for you to access sad thoughts. Because that body language and that thought do not match. They're not compatible with each other. This is the difference that you find. Body language, body can change your mind as your mind can change your body language. Imagine Indian movies. Imagine a situation where a woman is raped. And after that rape scene, the next scene that woman is shown, depicted. How she is depicted? Sitting on the floor, on the corner, holding her knees to her chest and her head touching the knees. She has chosen the small, very, very small space to exist. And that body language and this is what they show. Now, imagine a scene, standing up, looking straight, with her that she is powerless, hopeless, helpless, worthless. No. That body governs also what others think of us. If you want a good opinion of body language also can impact our emotions, as I have already explained. Our body and mind. Now we'll ask, what is mind? Psychology which defines mind. It defines mind as, mind is what the brain does. Words, in the modern terms, brain is the hardware. You may see the brain, the hardware, but you may not see the mind. What for? Why do we need a functioning brain? The most important life. My brain has kept me alive for 74 years. And your own the second most important objective of having a functioning brain is why in many cases the brain doesn't help us, the functioning brain doesn't help us. No. How does our mind know what we want? How do we communicate This is a very important question we need to ask. Do I know and what is the operating system? How does our mind communicate to us? Through a thought process. And what is in that thought process? Images, words, from the memory, including traumatic experiences. There will be three things in that. A traumatic experience, if you access from the memory, there may be a mental image of that episode. And there will be the words and sound connected to that episode. That is maybe the soundtrack of that image. And there will be feeling. Anything else you can identify in your experiences or the past experiences, rarely you may find smell and taste, especially in sexual traumas. Otherwise, very often you don't find smell and taste. Only three things you will find in any of or many of your traumatic experiences. What we can do about it. Before I go into that, there is we talk about mind, so many different types of mind. Conscious mind, subconscious mind. Some people talk about critical mind in between. I'm not going to talk about in details of that. Now, what is conscious mind? Conscious mind is like a radar. Through five senses, it is going around, looking around in the environment to gather information. Always gathering information. Any sound there? Oh, what is that? Any color there? Oh, what is that? Any movement? What is it? This is what the conscious mind is doing very often. Subconscious mind is like a record player. Why do we say that? Now, whatever you put it into a record player, it will play it for you. If something that is being played, you do not like it, you cannot expect the CD player to change it for you. If you do not like what is being played, you have to take out that CD and put back what you want. Then it will start playing that for you. This is what we need to do. Very often our problem in our life situations are, we are expecting our mind to change it, what is being played. It will not work. Because it is your mind. It will do what you tell the mind to do. You need to know what you have to say, how to communicate with your mind to get what you want. Now, the problem with us is one thing that you keep repeating over and over again, it makes a pattern. You have put on your dress today morning. When you put on your dress, you're some people may not be aware of it, though they are doing it your right hand first. No, we don't have to. It automatically goes. Why? because of repetition. And then your mind, your brain is on autopilot mode. You don't have to do anything. On a daily basis, the percentage of actions and responses, reactions and behavior on a daily basis that we exhibit, express, what percentage of it will be automatically done? We don't have to use our conscious mind because of repetition. This is also what we call belief system. We are not born with any beliefs. We build up that belief system, whether it is religious beliefs.
Wow. Play a lot. Kittle gamodat pang bashaka. Doesn't your talk music play?
Can I continue?
Please continue. Kindly mute yourselves. Swati, please ensure that everyone is muted.
Most of the actions and responses and behavior that we express, we do, is so it repeats because our mind is on autopilot mode. It works on its own. Awareness. Awareness will give you a choice. Imagine next time you take your hand first. And when that awareness gives you a choice to put the other hand first. So awareness gives us a choice. And if you exercise that choice and repeat that choice for some days, it will become a new pattern. If you ask me, this is the way to change your patterns, negative patterns, negative belief system. We will see more about it, how to do it. So we say we can change our memories. We can change our past experiences, traumatic experiences. We can change, create new future that we want by taking control of our mind, by taking control of our thinking process. Now, how to go about this? We have seen, we have 5 senses, nothing else. Everything that we do depends on how we use it. Visual, auditory, kinesthetic, that is feeling and movement, smell and taste. But when you look at this, go into details of this, go into details of this, we will see something else. A visual image you take, it can be a photograph, it can be a selfie. That means you are also there in the picture, in your mind's picture. Or it can be a slideshow, or it can be a collage, it can be a video clip. There are so many differences are there in that. There will be changes in the brightness, focus, distance, how close the image is or how far away the image is, the size and shape, the movement, clarity, all those things are part of that images. This is what we say, the coding of the subconscious mind. If you change any of these things, if you change the color, if you change the brightness, if you change the focus, what will happen? We will see what will happen. Auditory, again, we have details of that. The building blocks, coding, the words that we talk to ourselves, self-talk as a tone, particular speed, particular pitch, particular rhythm, particular volume, and distance. Distant sound, close sound. You can imagine a sound of ambulance from the far away. Then it comes closer and closer and closer and closer. It goes away, away, away. Distance, the sound. Again, these are coding of the subconscious mind. We'll see how it can be changed. Kinesthetic, location, movement. When I say location, people, when the feeling is intense, we sense it in our body. Sensitive people sense it in their body. And when some people sense the feeling in their stomach, butterflies in the stomach, we talk about it. Or some people feel it in their chest, heaviness in the chest, like a big stone pushing them down. Some people thought hands shaking or sweating, different parts of the body. And there is a movement, there is a direction. Because some people who are very kinesthetic, they will know exactly where it starts. In the stomach, then they know it goes to the chest, or it may start in the chest, and they know it goes to the stomach, or to the throat, neck, go on like that. Only kinesthetic people will know that. Sensitive people. But it is there. These are movements there, size is there, shape is there, temperature difference. These are again the building blocks of kinesthetic structure. Melon taste, sweet, sour, pungent, salty, and so on and so forth. Right? Now, the therapy part of it, or taking control of this thinking process, is to change this coding of the subconscious mind. You will see that. Now, basically what is happening is our brain, our functioning brain is managing our data. Data management. Gather information, the brain gathers information, organize the information, code the information through that building blocks of each senses, interpret the information according to the pattern that is already there, or the belief system that is already there. The brain interprets it and store it like that. If it is not according to that pattern, that will be thrown out. By the way, this is how the data management is done by the brain. And store it in the memory file and communicate to us. How? In these sensory inputs, images, words, feeling, sometimes smell and taste. Nothing else you can find in any of those experiences. I am challenging you to find something else. And then the mind will monitor the information. It will bring it up sometime, sometimes it will go back, it will come up again with more force, it will happen. And that's when we have a panic attack, depression, because it is communicating to different parts of the body, but there is no response. Then what will happen? It will come with more force, and that will start damaging the body, damaging your health. That is why it is important to have a positive thought process, taking control of your thoughts. When you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your mind. And when you take control of your mind, you take control of your life itself. Okay. Now, thought to result. I have been talking about a complete thought with images and words and feeling. That's a complete thought that will produce a response. Subconscious response. And according to that subconscious response, we have the behavior. According to that behavior, we have the result. If we are not happy with the result that we are getting, to change the result, we need to change the behavior and response. To change that response, we have to change our thought. To change our thought, you change either the images by fiddling with the building blocks, as we have already explained, or change the words. So when you change the image, words will change, feeling will change. If you change the words, image will change, feeling will change. If you are not neither visual nor auditory, only a feeling person, kinesthetic person, you ask them, some people, they will tell you, when you think about that experience, do you see an image in your mind? No, not really. They are not very visual. Or they ask them, do you say anything that you remember, that you say in your mind? No, nothing really. I just feel like that. These are the people who are purely kinesthetic, mostly. Very, very kinesthetic. And some people are very visual, not very kinesthetic. So they don't mind. Whatever happens, they can manage it. It doesn't go into their kinesthetic feeling part of it. They can handle it. So people are different because of their thinking patterns. That's why we need to take control of this. Okay. Now, coming back to the belief system. I have told you already, the thought. When you say thought, it's a complete thought with image, words, and feeling. And that will create a response, and that will create the behavior, that will create a result. Now, this single thought that you repeat several times, unconsciously, unknowingly, but it works in your mind. It goes into your subconscious mind by repetition. And it becomes an opinion. An opinion is not a single thought. It's a bunch of similar repeated thoughts. That's an opinion. If you don't stop there, and by repeating it, it will go deeper into your subconscious mind, making it a belief. So you see, a belief is again nothing but a bunch of similar repeated thought. If you do not want it, throw it out, change it, and we'll see how we can do it. Then again, it becomes value. A value is a strong belief. And by repetition, it can still go down deeper, becoming a conviction. And this process will continue, but we have no words to express. But it goes deeper and deeper and deeper into subconscious mind, making your body react to it, suffer because of that. Similarly, if you look at the response, by repetition, it becomes preferences. Again, by repetition, it becomes attitude. Still deeper it goes, making it an urge, an obsession. So all responses. Behavior becomes routine by repetition. Again, it becomes a habit by repetition. Then it becomes addiction, going deeper. Then obsessive compulsive behavior. We are more familiar with the word obsessive compulsive disorder. But even positive things also can be like this, by repetition. That's why we call it obsessive compulsive behavior. And accordingly, we have the result. If you don't want to, the result that you are getting, change your coding system of your mind, subconscious coding. And slowly, from conviction, it will come to value, from value, it will come to belief, from belief, it will come to opinion and single thought. And finally, you can also remove that single thought by exercise, mind exercises. And then you put in what you want and repeat it what you want, make it a pattern again, a new pattern. All these are possible if you are aware of what is happening in you. What is your thought? What are the images? And what are the codings of that images? What do you find in that? And then you can change it. This is how we change our life. Now, I am coming to the exercises part of it. This is the most important part. Now you see the next slide. A girl is listening to her favorite music. And look at her facial expression. She is smiling and very focused. If you look at the eyes, you can see that focus of her eyes. It may not be very clear now from this picture. So there are 2-3 things you can think about it. One is the open lip smile. And when you smile, there are 2 caves on either side. And the eyes are focused. And she's listening to her favorite music. Now, if I ask you, in your imagination, sit like this, listen to your favorite music, or watch your favorite video, and see what happens to you. Your smile, those 2 caves on either side, and the focus on your eyes on that particular thing that you are watching, and see what happens to you. Possibly, you also will become happy like this. It doesn't take much time. It takes only a few minutes to get into the state. This is how you can focus by listening, by changing your body language, and focusing on what you want. Okay, now, this smile is very resourceful. Now, if I ask you to think about some of the problems you have, you can identify those problems, at least 3 or 4 of them, and arrange them in a descending order, and see what is the feeling that you get. Now, listen carefully, because this is the exercises that I am giving you. Identify the feeling and rate that feeling on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 on 10 means very intense. Rate your feeling. This is the first step you take. Then sit like this young girl with that smile on her face. Look at that smile, openly smile, not a rubber band smile. Openly smile with the curves on either side, and sit straight. As I told you earlier, your chest up, your shoulder up, your chin up. Of course, negative thoughts will not come, but forcefully bring into focus those thoughts and smile at it. What will happen? When you smile at those problems, your mind will object. How can you smile at your problem now? Stop it. Stop your smile. Think about this. But if you do not stop the smile, slowly your brain, your mind has to reprocess that information, reinterpret the information, recode the information, and slowly the problem will fade away. You can practice it yourself. What we are saying is, smile at your problems enough time, take enough time and smile at your problems, problem will vanish. In between, you stop smiling and think about it without smile and see how strong it is. It may be slightly less. Smile at it again. Keep smiling. We say, when you smile at your problems, problem disappears. If you smile at your solutions, solutions will get enhanced. So smile will work both ways. This is one resource free of cost that all of us are having. But how many of us use it? Keep using this resource of your smile that you get free of cost to control your problems, to reinterpret, to record, to reprocess your information. You know what will happen? When you are thinking about the problems, the negative neurons in your brain will start firing in a particular direction. And the more you start firing, it becomes a pattern. When you smile, positive neurons in your brain will start firing. And if you do not stop smiling and think about the problem, what you're actually doing is you are enlisting, enrolling the positive neurons to start firing together with the negative neurons. That's where there is a confusion first in the brain, in the mind. And then if you do not stop, reprocessing happens. Reinterpretation happens. Recoding happens. Try it for yourself and see what will happen. But sometimes, your smile will disappear. So to make sure that your smile doesn't disappear, stand in front of the mirror and smile and think about your problems. And once in a way, check it without smile and see how strong it is. Try it and see what will happen. Use the most important resource, free resource that we all have. Use it for our own advantage. Okay, now I am going into other details of people who are very visual. Those who can see the image in videos or in slideshows, where you can see colors, focus, brightness, you can very clearly see all those things. These are the visual people. And we say, if people are very visual people, they have visions. People who are very auditory, they hear voices. So identify those. If you are a very visual person, through the visual channel, you have problems coming in. If you are an auditory person, through the auditory channel, you have more problems coming in. Some people are very visual, very auditory, and very kinesthetic. They are very competent people. But the problem also, they can get the problems also, attack the problems also through all the three channels. So we have to be careful. That's why we need to become aware of these things. It is within us to change it. I am a hypnotherapist, but I am telling you, I cannot access your subconscious mind and change it. It is your mind. Unless you reveal it to me, I won't know what is happening there. But it is your mind, you can access it. Access it from your memory, identify what are the things that you find there, and change those sub-qualities. The coding, change it. So give one example. Imagine a situation that is very bad for you in the past. Access it from the memory and see. This is only for the visual people. If it doesn't work for you, don't blame me. Close your eyes, access it from the memory, that experience, negative experience, and see the image there. And in your imagination, make that image fully black. And immediately open your eyes. We say, when your eyes are closed and think of something, and whatever you see at that moment, when you open your eyes immediately, what you see just before that in your mind is saved in your mind. So when you close your eyes and make it fully black, those images, and immediately open your eyes and try again. Think about it and see, or you can see the same image with the same qualities. If you see the images again, once again do it. Like that, you may have to do 3 or 4 times with the same thing. After closing your eyes and imagine making it black. And once you have done it, then shrink it, make it smaller, small as a stamp size. And then immediately open your eyes. So that will be saved in your mind. Maybe you can do it 2 or 3 times again. It may take only 2 or 3 seconds. You should do it fast because your mind is very fast. They say our mind is faster than light. So do it very fast, these things. It takes only 2 or 3 seconds maximum. And again, you close your eyes, make it fully black, shrink it, keep shrinking it, making it smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And when it disappears, immediately open your eyes and smile at something in front of you. Do this again 4 times. And then once again, think about that situation, original situation, and rate it and see whether the rating has come down on a scale of 1 to 10. This is one that you can experience. Try it for yourself. I hope I am very clear. Okay. Now, auditory people. Now, when you do these things, for example, this visual, you can also zoom out the negative things and zoom in what you want instead and keep it in the same place. So zoom out and zoom in. When I was giving this exercise of zooming out and zooming in, one lady asked me, "Sir, can I imagine a sunset?" I said, "How are you going to imagine sunset?" "Yeah, I imagine the sunset." And sent all my problems into that And along with the sun going down, all these problems also go down and sink. And she said, and after that, I imagine the sunlight, rising sun, and the sunlight comes into me with all the good things that happen, that's in my life, that I want, and it comes and make me happy. So do it. You know why? Because when you do some exercise, whatever exercise, doesn't matter, your mind will show you something else. Your mind is telling you, why don't you try this? And if you do that, you will get maximum support of your mind, because your own mind only told you that. Practice it and see what will happen. I remember once I was doing some exercise like this visual for the visual person. Finally, she asked me, sir, I hope I have a push button. I push it, I press it, and it will disappear. I said, try it. And she imagined a button. And she told me, I imagined a button that was like a samosa size. It was red in color. And after I was creating that red button in my imagination, in my mind, I saw a big rocket just in front of me with the doors open. And I could see so many cartons, boxes getting into that rocket, loaded into rocket. And when all those boxes were loaded into the rocket, automatically the rocket door closed. And that moment she pressed the button and she said, the rocket took off, went into the atmosphere, and she saw it bursting. I said, do it. You won't believe? That was very relieving for her. So what I am trying to tell you is, use your creativity. Your own mind will help you to do that. But you do something that you want to do, so that your mind gets some idea, oh, you want it now. Okay, let's start. Use it. Now, I can tell you so many exercises and so many things, but now we don't have much time. Now, for auditory people, they are the people who keep on talking to themselves. I am not good enough. I am a big failure. I don't know why it happens to me. All negative thoughts, negative self-talk, mainly auditory people. Identify what you are, again become aware of what you are saying in your mind and write it down. For example, if you say, I am a big failure, write it down, and after every word you put a question mark, and then repeat it with the question mark. How do you repeat it? With a questioning intonation. How do you repeat that? I am a big failure. How do you say it with the question mark? Each word, I am a big failure. Question it. Keep questioning your negative beliefs a few times and see what will happen. And after that, you stop and repeat it the way you usually do it and see how effective it is. If you need to repeat it, repeat it. Write down all your negative self-talk and question them. This is how you remove your negative beliefs. And possibly your own mind will show you the positivity of that. I say now you're working with that. I am not good enough. Somebody was working on that. After questioning a few times, that not disappeared. See, I am good enough. Your own mind will show you that. This is how it works. So take control of your thought pattern, thought process, and it will work. You can also talk again. Write down the words, self-talk, and put some space in between so that you speak with a little space in between, with some gap in between, and talk like Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse with that high-pitched, squealy voice. Repeat like that. What will happen? All the coding of that subconscious mind coding of that pitch and the intonation and that volume, everything changes. Keep doing that and see what will happen. The whole world will change for you if you keep repeating it. Of course, like any other exercise, physical exercise, the effect is not overnight. If you want to sustain your bicep muscle, for example, how many exercises you have to do daily and how many days? If you want to sustain it, you have to continue it. This is how you create a pattern. And this is how our mind becomes, our brain becomes on autopilot mode. This is what they say in neuroscience, rewiring of your brain. Keep rewiring your brain the way you want it. You have that power. You can do it. Keep doing it. And then you will see the difference. Kinesthetic people, if you take, we have been discussing about, I hope I have time. Yeah, 7:30 now. Maybe I take another 10 more minutes. Is it okay?
Yes, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. So kinesthetic, we have seen the direction for sensitive people. Start from the stomach, or possibly, let's say, start from the chest, then go to the throat, mouth, head, then hand, back to the stomach, and back to the chest. Can you see that direction and the movement? Now, suppose you change that movement direction, spin it in the opposite direction, and spin it very fast. Only kinesthetic people can know that. It will work. And I thought one thing, auditory people, you write down all your self-talk, because auditory people have so many self-talks, so many sentences, negative beliefs. They express it in self-talk. Write them down and choose your most favorite song. Remove the words, replace these negative self-talk, and then sing it. Sing it. Imagine yourself standing in front of the audience and sing it and enjoying it. What is happening is, again, you are changing the structure of that experience. You are changing the coding of that experience. Because to fit the tune of that song, you have to sometimes compress the words, sometimes expand the words, everything changes, right? And coming back to spinning, spin it in the opposite direction. Only kinesthetic people will know this. If you are not kinesthetic, you have no idea what it is. So as a therapist, my job is to identify what type of exercise this particular person will benefit from. That is my job. And they have to do the work. Repeat it. As we said, repeat it regularly so that you can sustain the new pattern, new belief system. Now, I have a few more minutes. There's one more thing that use of technology in taking control of your mind and taking control of your thoughts. What is it? As we know, the technology, modern technology is created by the mind. And mind is one entity that knows the effectiveness and efficiency of that technology. What will happen if you play it back to the mind? It will work. You can try for yourself. If you are aware of some technology that you are good in that. So what we say is, whatever is your skill, whatever is your strength, use it back to the mind to get the result that you want. Technology included. I tell you one example, possibly. I had once a Pakistani who came to me for therapy. He was dismissed. He was working in England so many years, and he was a British citizen. But he was dismissed. And he knew that the way he was dismissed, he will not get another job in England. So he thought he will go back to Pakistan. But because he was in England, he had many Indian friends. Some of them had come back to India and settled down in different cities of India. So he thought, if I go back to Pakistan, I won't meet them again. I cannot contact them again. So he thought that he would travel to Pakistan via India. And he stopped in Delhi, stopped in Bombay, came to Bangalore. And when he was in Bangalore with one of his friends, talking about his problems, and his friend Googled and found my name, he called me and came. I did so many exercises too. Gave him so many exercises. And I asked him, okay, now you think about the same thing once again. He retrieved them exactly the same way. Nothing changes. I was wondering what to do now. And finally it dawned on to me. And I asked him, suppose you have a file in your computer that you want to delete permanently. How do you do it? He looked at me, smiled at me, and told me, you cannot delete any information permanently from your computer. Then I asked him, what about the shift delete and things like that? He said, yeah, whatever way you delete any information from your computer, you are already cutting the link between the hardware and the monitor. The information will be in the hardware. Then he told me what he was doing in England. He said, in our company, we have a system where we exchange the new software, new hardware for the very concessional rate for the old one. And we also go to different parts of the country and gather all the discarded hardware and bring it to the office. And with a very powerful software, we retrieve it, the information stored in that hardware, and see where any incriminating information is hidden in that hardware. And then we will take action on that. It was a defense sensitive department. And being a Pakistani, they thought that he should not be working there. So he was summarily dismissed. When I heard this, I asked him, but suppose you have a file in your computer that you want to destroy permanently, remove permanently, how will you do that? He told me, oh, we have very powerful tools for that also. With that very powerful tool, we overwrite the hard disk several times and the information will be lost. And I asked him, this is a utilization technique. I asked him, then why don't you use this technique and take your hardware in your imagination, your mind, the problems in your mind, in your imagination, and overwrite it and see what happens. To my surprise, that really made the difference in his life. So there are so many technology, you can say Photoshop if you want, 3ds Max if you want. I have also used the latest version of Python. So many, any software that you are familiar with, use it. It will work. Okay, I think I should stop now. Any questions?
Thank you so much. Really, that was so interesting. Thanks a lot. And we'll have a Q&A now. Any questions? Kindly unmute yourself and ask Professor the question. Questions, anybody?
I have questions, Sajani.
Go ahead, Ramesh.
Thank you so much, Professor. Any way in which we can find out ourselves if we are predominantly visual or auditory or kinesthetic people? Because some people can be a mix of more than one, isn't it?
Yes, yes. What you need to do is become aware of your thought and see whether you have images more prominently or words that are more prominent or just feeling. I'll give you one or two things also. People who are very visual will talk very fast.
Okay.
People who are auditory will have a medium speed of speech. People who are very kinesthetic will be very slow in their speech. Just imagine somebody is calling you on your mobile phone and they're talking to you. Hello, is it a good time to talk to you now? Hello, is it a good time to talk to you now? Some people will say, hello, is it a good time to talk to you now? Still others may still tell you, hello, is it a good time to talk to you now? These are different people.
Mm-hmm.
Who talks faster are visual people. Who talks on medium speed, auditory people. Very slow, kinesthetic people.
So is there a connection between fast talking and the speed of your thought?
Yes, because visual people, they saw things very fast. For verbal people, auditory people, they have to understand things in words. So imagine somebody, there is a picture and I have to explain the picture to you.
Mm-hmm.
How long will I take if I have to explain it in words? Take very long.
Mm-hmm.
But I just show you the picture, you see it, and you do it immediately. So visual people are faster. Auditory people are slower, and kinesthetic people are still slower. There's also a difference in breathing pattern. Visual people breathe fast, shallow breathing. Auditory people, they will breathe the mid frame, and kinesthetic people, belly breathing, slow and deep breathing.
So does that mean?
Yeah.
Does that mean visual people are generally not so good at oratory skills, public speaking?
You know, it depends on, see, everybody has all the 5 senses. But some people have a preference for certain senses. So that we say some people prefer to process the information visually. Some people process it visually and auditorily. Some people prefer to do it all the three ways, visually, auditory, and aesthetically. So it depends on. So again, you have to think about one particular thought and see whether you are aware of the images and the details of that image. And then think about the words. Do you have any words about that? And the details of that word, the speed and all that, and feeling and all that. And see the sensation, whether you sense it in your body or not. Some people may be visual and auditory. So you can work any of this. But you see, which is your preferential form of processing. That may work better.
Merci, Professor.
Thank you. Any other questions? Kindly unmute and ask your question.
I have a question.
Yes.
Mira, go ahead.
Can we be different things at different points in our lives? Like, I know I'm very visual.
Yeah, okay.
But I also feel I get gut feelings very often.
Okay.
You know, so
Yeah.
I go by my intuition or my inner feelings. So
Yeah.
can we be multifaceted, or are we all compartmentalized?
We can combine these exercises also, depending on your requirement. That is, as a therapist, that is my job, to identify that and tell them that. But you practice it, some of these things. If something doesn't work, you try something else. And while doing that, your mind will tell you something, do that. It might work. Use your creativity, your own creativity or the creativity of people that you want to help. I hope I have answered that question, I suppose.
The question was, can we be more than just one type of people? Can we be visual and auditory?
We can. Can be all the three also, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Some may be only visual, some may be only kinesthetic, some may be only auditory, because they are, of course, they have the images, but they are not very much aware of it, or it is not very clear to them. But some people, they are very visual, very auditory, very kinesthetic together. And in that case, we may have to combine some of those things together. Try it and see. Try it for yourself. Nobody else can do it for you, only you can do it. I am only giving you some ideas now. That's what I can do with this 1.5 hours or 1 hour. I hope it was sufficiently clear what I said.
I think it was brilliant what you said, and definitely I will try some of these techniques, because I think we all have to learn how to, as you said, use a blackboard, use an eraser to remove those thought processes that are embedded in us.
Yes.
Hopefully nobody will find them like a Pakistani friend and use it against us. But thank you very much. It was a wonderful talk.
Thank you.
Very, very, very interesting. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much to you too for telling me that. It's a very good feedback for me, for myself.
Any other questions, suggestions?
Or feedback?
Any feedback?
Hello?
So can you please stop sharing the screen so that...
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm sorry for that. Yeah.
That's okay. So
I should have done it earlier. Sorry.
It was a good talk and interesting. Initially, I thought, what is this
It was
hypnosis?
very new, all these things
One
what
person at a time, please.
so
Kindly
clearly.
mute all the others. Yes, one person.
So I think now I have to sit and myself.